Okay.
Another day, another podcast. We have a few things we got to do first, though. We talked about this. Yep.
Okay, yeah.
Before we get into the funny banter, we've got a few things we got to clear up. The first is, who is Ryan? Because we got a lot of questions about our producer.
Yeah. Wow, that sounds a fish.
Sounds pretty legit.
He's Rye guy. He also started Dear Media. No, so he's really big, if you've heard of him.
No, what's
Rye
really
guy,
so? Let's share a few fun facts about Ryan.
Yeah.
Okay,
we'll go back and forth. Let's go back and forth.
Fun. Okay, because we each have different fun facts.
And we also talk over each other, so this is a good exercise.
Exactly. Respect each other's space. Okay, so fun fact number one is Ryan is dating Saru Nails, who we are obsessed with, who Jamie Milne introduced us to.
Yeah.
And this is also why I'm a big believer in putting it out there, call it manifesting, call it whatever you want. But I was talking with Saru about how I so badly wanted to do a podcast.
Why is that her name? By the way, sorry.
This is a different topic. Let's keep going with the story here. I was talking with Sarah about how I really wanted to do a podcast. And she's like, funny you mentioned this. My boyfriend, who also has his own podcast, this is something he's super interested in and really wants to, get more into this. He used to be a DJ. His sound is incredible.
You put it out there. You put it out there.
And
for the universe to come
put
back
it out there
and give you
Ryan
a handsome Rye dog
he'd
sitting
never
on
be
there.
ours. He'd never be ours. Anyway, so that is my first fun fact about Ryan.
My
What's yours?
second fun fact coming out strong is that Ryan's...
No, wait, but you have to...
What?
Are we allowed to say it?
Yes. He doesn't want to say it because he's awkward about it, but I'm not. It's not my uncle.
Do it. He's got
Ryan's uncle is
a big celeb.
a big celebrity. But should I just... Yeah, we're going.
Yeah,
It's Elton John. Okay? It's not actually Elton John. It's Elton John's husband, who is Ryan Furnish's uncle's husband.
Yeah.
That is big news. David Furnish.
Davey Furnish.
Is his uncle's partner.
Okay. That is huge. And
what's your number 3?
It's pretty epic. Okay, I've got a good number 3. And this is what I thought when I first met Ryan was he is a dead ringer for Aaron Eckhart, who you guys might know him. Well, you won't because you've seen one movie in your life.
I've already heard you talking about this. I know what you're going to say.
He was Julia Roberts' boyfriend in Aaron Brockovich.
Have you gotten...
They look identical.
Have you gotten that before?
I've never gotten that in my life.
That's
you're
a compliment.
Be editing this, I would like to see a side-by-side in the YouTube.
I don't see it. I don't.
We'll do a side. It's a compliment.
What's
it's
his
a compliment.
Name, so I have to look.
His name is Aaron Eckhart, and he's a very strapping man, Ryan. It's a compliment.
That is a compliment.
I hate when people are like, "Oh, you look so much like." I'm like, "Ew," and then they say someone, I'm like, "Huh, is that?" Maybe not a compliment,
Totally.
So, or they'll be like, "Oh, you are exactly like my friend."
Right. And you're like, give me context here because
what is your friend?
Yeah.
Do you like her? Is she cute?
Yeah.
Like
is
what?
She
where
a dog? Because are you saying I'm a dog?
Yeah.
Like I was saying I'm a dog. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways,
it is. Would say that or call you a dog because you're obviously
no, but it's like people you meet. People you meet.
You're like no. It's a good. You always say it's a good.
You
thing.
Remind me of.
What are you gonna say?
Yeah. I'm trying. I feel like you've gotten some interesting comparisons, haven't you, with celebrities?
With me, I get anything. I'm like what you would call a chameleon, and anywhere I travel, I get that I'm from that region.
Yeah.
I was in India, and they're like, "Oh, you look Kashmiri," and I'm like, "Well, do I? I guess I could look Kashmiri."
Yeah.
And then I was like in Italy.
Someone recently asked if you were Armenian.
I get Greek a lot. I get Arabic.
Yeah.
I get everything. I get everything under the sun.
Well, and since that nose job, a lot of people asked for your doctor's name. They love your nose. They love your profile.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. He's since retired.
He has since retired. His name is Dr. Conrad.
Your nose was so much work for him. He was like, I'm done after this.
It was, guys, honestly, you know what he said to me? He goes, in the consultation, was just like, it got me. He goes, I know you're more beautiful than your nose. Anyways, the reality is he did a good job. I did a great job. Revision rhinoplasty though, which full disclosure, not because of what he did, it kind of healed a little crooked. Yeah. A little J nose.
Yeah, it was
a little crooked.
It looked like a wrench. Oh yeah. Well, you smiled and then it.
Oh damn! It was. You never really. You're like.
Well, now it's this is done. This is
I
history.
fixed it, but it wasn't like you're like.
When
oh,
you
look
smiled,
great.
it really,
were you like, oh yeah, your nose is actually fully crooked. It looks bad.
It didn't look bad. It was crooked.
Because a nose really can transform your face.
It can transform my face. I went maybe 4 or 5 years ago for a consult about my bump in my nose. And I can't say who I went to because you thought your comment was bad. This guy was basically like, you know what? He's like, I'm not going to make your nose smaller because he's like, that's just going to make your nose look long. He's like, what I'm going to do is make your whole face look bigger.
Right. There we go.
He marked up my whole face.
A new cheek.
No, literally, it was $40,000 worth of facial reconstruction. And
that makes you feel good.
That, you know what? I was like, Benji was like, that was all you needed. I was like, this guy's a crook.
I also went to that guy and he told me my nose was trash and he took off way too much and I look like Michael Jackson and he can't even touch it or fix it. And I shouldn't go for a third nose job, which I didn't disagree with.
Everybody is going to be wondering who this is. And I bet you
know what? I want to blow up his.
No, Amy, don't blow anybody up because I do know there are people who see him because I also, let's just keep going into this.
Okay.
I went to him.
I know. And then they
years
burned
later
you.
For the Neosculpt and they burned me and
their staff are very uninformed and rude. And act like I know what I hate more. And it's not even just in this industry, in any industry. It's service. And when you walk in somewhere, when people working at that place think they're better than you, and I don't care who you are, universally, it's just the worst.
Yeah.
It's just, and everyone deals with that no matter what day.
But I have to say, when we had the store on Yonge Street. So now we have a showroom and we're online, but we had a store. We did the retail grind for many, many years.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we did. And we are
Lauren had a one-time deal. She like called me. She's like, it's really good you're not here today. I'm like, why? She's like, a homeless person just took a piss on our cushion in the back. And I think she locked herself in the room and she really wants us one pair of jeans. And I'm like you were like trying to finance this pair of jeans for her while also trying to get her out of the.
Well, I was but can I just say our mentality was
very. We're not. You're like typical.
We will literally help anyone, even if you look homeless. I'm like, maybe she's really secretly like a billionaire. I don't know.
No, yeah, we did
turned
not.
Out she was actually homeless.
Service is service, and if you're going to be that industry, she fully was homeless. No judgment, also there, but
that
like
was our thing. It was
it was not a bathroom.
And we're
going to
treat everyone the same.
Oh my God. The amount of time I got stuck with Leatherman in store too.
There were some weird.
Yeah, we could really write a book about the people we experienced.
There was, I think we talked about this our first podcast, but it didn't get recorded.
Yeah.
Was the customer who wore a sale dress. It was literally 80% off. She wore it pregnant to a wedding and then tried to return it, but was not careful and posted
her up on Instagram.
A picture of herself on Instagram wearing the dress. Yeah. And she tried to return it and we were kind of sly about it. We're like, what should we do? And we wrote her back and we're like, hope you had a great time at the wedding. Love the dress. And then that was kind of it. We never heard from her. Just putting it back in her face.
I know. She hits me up a lot too, randomly, this girl.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? It was, it's you up for
whatever. Like, just like shit. And sometimes I'm like, I want to just like give her a bad answer back, or I want to lie, or I want to like.
No, why? I feel like it was,
like,
you know,
where'd you get those sandals? And I'm like, like, what am I going to send back? Like an Amazon link to something I didn't buy, but like, I just am kind of like, you know, like she tried to do something.
Sounds like a weird way to get back to her.
Just like that really offended me.
Do you hold grudges, Annie?
Of course I do.
Oh.
Sorry. I want to rephrase that.
No,
sometimes. Sometimes.
So people cross you and you're like, you don't forget.
No, I just listen, I would forgive someone. I'm not like a psycho bitch, but if someone
does something,
I don't know. We don't have that many time for all these friends. I'm not going to be that, like, who cares? Bye. Like, if they're going to do something that bothers me or like, why?
Yeah, I am definitely a grudge. I'm a grudge holder.
But it's just like, I know I'm very like you get what you get with me.
No, you're just like you're done.
Yeah,
like I'm not.
It's not even a grudge. It's like we're not friends anymore.
Yeah, you're not even putting time into a
that's
grudge.
Not to say I'm not. That sounds very like it's not. That's not. That made me sound like a narcissist. No,
it didn't. I think it's. I think it's literally like there's no time for me to hold a grudge against you.
And if you know if I'm unhappy, you know why, and like either we fix it or we don't.
Right.
You know, I do care about it if obviously people like me, but like a grudge is just like have we had a grudge between us?
I don't.
Back in the day, like with old maybe fights, we'd have a little bit.
Yeah, we'd have the fights. And
I don't think we held grudges. I think we were both upset. We were both upset about the subject matter and wanted to deal with it.
We were upset and maybe resentful and maybe but I don't think a grudge is the right word.
Do you think we ever needed to go to therapy or should be in therapy?
Oh, I don't think so. I think we actually have learned to communicate really well.
Right.
I think we almost too well. I feel like it's like
You're like, this is a little too comfortable.
like
for me.
we always
I'm like,
really-
Laura, I need your underwear now. You're like, this is becoming a lot. You've been like, you should.
That's actually not what I was thinking, but not the underwear sharing, because who cares about that? But it's more like, I think it's like, you really made me feel like this today.
Yeah, it's
we
like,
do that
I
a
know.
lot. We do that a lot, but I also think it's healthy.
Do I do that?
Yeah, but I think in a good, not excessively. And
Oh,
I
I'll
think
be
I
like,
do
I'm
it too, where it's like,
sensitive.
oh, like in this meeting, like I kind of like didn't love the way you spoke to me, or like maybe it's more me just telling you. I feel like I'm more sensitive.
Okay, no,
I am, and I'm okay with that. I'm definitely
Yeah.
more sensitive than you.
Yeah, I think that's totally fine, and I think it's good that you tell me because
I used to also not tell you,
then you probably were holding a grudge,
but I wasn't a grudge. I would say
resentful a bit.
Resentful.
So, yeah, that's not good. No, and also I think it's good that you tell me because, as you said, I don't think like you. So then I'm not going to know if like my dumbass, very blunt comment is going to either rub you the right or the wrong way. Like sometimes I'm just like not.
I feel like you're a guy a bit like that, you know how sometimes like,
Ew, I do have high levels of testosterone, so please don't say that. That's like so. Just call me a cute
so do
girl with
I.
nice boobs.
so do I.
Okay, well,
I just
so-
actually got tested for that exact same thing.
I know.
She's like,
have-
you have a mustache because you have very high levels of DHT. I was like, huh.
Yeah, and I love this. Is so fucking typical you too. Like when you called me to tell you, like, because you were trying to like just like package it nice. Still not. Yeah, actually, you're like, I have like hormone thing. It's like I have high levels of DHC. Oh, okay. What's that mean? I'm like, you mean testosterone? like me? Like, do you know what I mean? You tried to make it like it was another type of hormone.
It was like a
that,
cute thing.
Yeah, like I never had heard of before. I'm like, no.
No,
Like,
it makes you grow a beard. It's
yeah,
not
no,
that cute.
I've always had high levels of testosterone. It's creepy because I have 3 brothers, and I'm like, ugh, was I fucking meant to be a dude? I literally came out of my dad I
your
came out of my mom's
Wow.
badge, and the first thing my dad said, this is. Anyways, we're going there. He was like, "Oh, another boy," and obviously, I was just I was swollen. I was a baby. My vag was swollen, and whatever, it looked like a baby penis. And my dad thought I was a boy, and to this day, like tells everyone about that. Said it at my bat mitzvah or my wedding. Like talks about it often.
It was that story took
like-
front and center at your wedding.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, great. So now everyone's thinking about my vagina at my wedding and what it currently looks like. And I would say,
Would say what? You have a nice vagina.
I would say
that's okay.
no, to be honest,
You can pick up your vagina.
Are we going
Maybe
there? No.
well,
okay, no. First of all, I'm hygienic
Gary?
as fuck. So like that's just one thing. But
You're
I was
what?
hygienic as fuck. Like I'm very
Oh, yeah,
hygienic, which
yeah.
is a very important when you have a vag. But the thing I'm gonna say is,
I'm wondering who's listening to this podcast.
I don't know, my dad and being like cringing. But
Your
point,
dad is the one you're most worried about.
Okay, so anyways,
I feel like you
my
gotta think of-
vagina is an 8 out of 10. I would say.
Well, that's great.
What's yours?
I kind of think mine's like a 9 or 10.
Whoa!
Especially, I mean, I don't want to brag, but after
You
having
literally just gave your vagina a perfect score.
well, I also I've had 4 kids, and I'm proud. I'm loud and proud.
Okay,
Guys, let's
get
move on from this. Let's move on, 'cause-
guys. Like we're talking to a whole room of people.
Well, we are, because I feel like we got to keep, we got to keep the conversation going. We can't stay too long on any topic. We also wanted to talk about why we started the podcast, because we're switching it up. Some days it's us. Some days we have a guest.
Well, I was being I was being my OCD A type self, being like, "What's the point of this? Like, what is the point? Like, one week we're gonna talk about this, the next week we're gonna talk about that. Like, do people just care about us talking? Like, blah blah blah." And I was like, I needed a common theme. I felt like we needed to like establish like what the point. Everyone's like, "Chill out, you guys are just talking, and if people want to listen, they'll listen." But then we said it is more than that.
It is more than
for
that. We
us,
had the idea of what it was.
It's more for us. I feel like we've always been two people that people come to for information, tips, this or that. We love to share.
Yeah.
We both have different insight into different things.
Yeah, whether it's things to do with parenting, health and wellness, travel, relationships, things like that. And
I think it's actually I think it's mostly you. Like I do some like fashion stuff, sure I do some, but like I'm now to think of it like
well, my kids are a bit older, so I feel like I've done everything first.
yeah.
But-
You do a lot of service. You do a lot of things. That, like you really do. I feel like you really have a good grasp on like a lot of different industries and like what's what.
Well, because I feel like I like talking to a lot of people.
Yeah, and you're well seasoned. You've got like that Janice in you where
I'll talk to
for
anybody.
days,
I'll talk to anybody. And then you meet
And
people
you'll
and you
try
put things out
anything.
there.
You really will.
I will try anything.
Yeah, you're really
They're like,
easy
eat these
sell.
worms and you will be young forever.
Yeah.
And I'll eat them.
Yeah. Okay. So
So we're here to give advice, and then in between, like the kind of people who we chat with, we're here to add some, light banter and funny stories
for your drive to work.
Lanny's vagina and such.
And you're 10 out of 10 perfect PP.
Well, now you know. Now I'm gonna
word,
look like I
don't know.
Now I'm gonna look a little cocky. So
I
to speak.
Let me see. I'll have to ask my brother if he agrees with your evaluation. Let me just survey.
You could also ask Kara Laser. You could ask our laser girl.
That is a good person,
right?
A little more
she's
neutral.
really up in. She's neutral and she's up in there, and she's seen.
That would be
how many vaginas has she
really
seen?
Funny TikTok if she like rated vages.
Well, you know, when I go in there, I'm always like, ooh, how bad is my vagina? But then I think about other vaginas in there.
Well, how bad? Excuse me, you just gave yourself a 10
No, I know, but you know, it's open. Your knees are up. Your ass is open. Everything is there.
Yeah.
There, you know, there is. You're very exposed, and.
What do males don't have to do that at any time?
No, they do. They do if they're getting waxed.
Okay, so 85% of men do not get their assholes waxed.
Yeah. What about when they get no? What's it called when you get checked as you're older? Your penis. Your balls? Yeah, the penis.
Doctor making sure it works. What's the question? There's a doctor that checks to make sure your penis works.
Yeah, and you've got to put shit up your penis.
A urologist.
Yes, thank you. To check things. The shit goes funny down there too. They've got to get up close and personal.
No. If you have to put something in your pee hole, you don't need to shave your balls.
No, but it's still, that's not the point of shaving your balls. It's just getting intimate with that region is all I'm saying. Because you're like, do men have to get uncomfortable?
Yeah, okay, no, I'm just saying where I was going with that, I'm sorry, is that most men don't have to like do that on the regular.
Yeah, not on a monthly basis.
No, or
but maybe Ryan waxes his balls
to anyone other than Sarah.
You don't know Ryan's grooming.
I can tell
history.
Ryan's grooming. Look, he's a burly man. I can tell. If you wax your ball, I'll give you $1,000 on the spot if Ryan has ever waxed his balls.
Yeah,
or his butthole.
That's never happened.
I didn't agree to it.
I feel like grooming for like when you're like 18 years old as a guy is like more important than it is when you're like close to 30 in a way. I don't know
also the entire time you've been in a relationship.
Not like not
with the same girl. So
like
there's that,
grooming.
Ryan.
Not like grooming, but like
you're more
the
interested.
Habits of what you actually do when you're grooming change as you get older, I feel like.
That is fair.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, like you do it
when you're in a comfortable relationship, then you're just like, if I'm going away, I've got to,
know. Okay, what I do to Gary, the grooming that I do, the body sculpting that I do to Gary before a trip, my nose, my new cuteness, is in his butthole. I shape in his butt with a nose razor. I do butt. I don't care if it's embarrassed because the world should know that I do this for someone and I'm not a heartless bitch. I go in it, spread in it. I don't know. I feel like people think
you're
that.
a heartless bitch if you don't do that.
No, people just think that about me. Not if I don't do this. Just they think that about me.
It makes you softer.
He looks like a baby.
Baby's butt.
It's great what I do.
Wow.
And then I used to be able to go short on his chest. He likes it a little bit longer. I like it a little bit longer on the chest because I hate feeling like you're rubbing up against stubble.
Right.
Well, how much chest coverage does he have?
He's a furry man.
I would call it a heart or a V. Like he's got a treasure trail, and he's got a very hairy buttski. Very nice butt. He's got the cutest butt I've ever seen.
This is a lot of information about Gary's.
His butt's. He doesn't look like to have a hairy butt. Not that it's gross. It's just hairy. And
I think a lot of men have hairy butts. Oh, here we go with the.
Well,
Lanny's trying to normalize chota as part of a regular conversation.
Okay.
As we do, he's a really prevalent part of our conversations.
Well, he's really out there and he's a big part of our life. Yeah. He's a big part. My husband.
He's a big part of our life.
Well,
mutual. No, he's a big part of mine too. And we said we're going to have him on the podcast to talk about marketing.
Yeah. Because
we were trying to figure out the angle.
Yeah. Fun fact was that we did try. I love a fun fact. None of my. No,
this sounds like it could be a fun fact. Yeah.
We did a second try. It was our second time recording the podcast. The first time, I don't even think we meant to. Ryan came over to do a sound check to see like what we were doing. And then we just started gabbing and he was like, I actually think we got something. And that's how we started this whole thing. And that was our first episode. So the second time we're like, we got this. We're pros. And then Gary came in and I didn't know, like, it was just not a great, it was like, I think there were expectations that he was a relationship expert, maybe that
we just covered all the same things and
we like dived into questions that were kind of like intense or like,
it was weird. I think you were also drunk.
Yeah, I was. Yeah,
you were three sheets to the wind. You were like Kristen Wiig from like Bridesmaids.
3 sheets to the wind. Well, I don't get that.
3 sheets to the
What-
wind.
What does that mean?
I don't know. It's just a
But
saying.
like what I'm
Like, I don't know. Yeah. What can, I don't know.
like the wind, like you're just like you're gone.
I've never heard that saying. I kind
3
of like
sheets
it.
to the wind.
I just
I'm a
want
big saying guy.
Oh,
and
okay.
I've never heard that
You should
one
talk
before.
to Benji. He's got a saying for everything.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's going in Ryan's repertoire.
How's your week been, Annie?
Not the best.
Oh yeah. You were saying you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed.
I have a lot of anxiety right now, actually.
Yeah.
I just feel like there's a lot of moving parts right now. So it's like when everything's like in different spheres, it makes me uneasy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so OCD with everything. Like when things are out of order, it's just not like, I don't know. It just like, it
Like
feels,
what's out of order? Like you're.
well, I don't really want to get into it.
Oh, okay.
No, I do, but I just feel like it's kind of
It's a lot. It's a lot of information. Too personal.
It just, no, it just,
You can't go there. Yeah.
what am I supposed to do?
Well, I'll talk
can't
about,
blow-
you know what? I'll talk about my week because I'm
Yeah.
okay talking about
yeah,
that.
how are you?
Yeah.
You know what? Let's do a
Why
role
don't you
reverse.
interview me,
Okay,
Annie?
let's try. So, Ren, how's your week going?
Oh, thanks for asking, Annie.
I'm like a bad date. I don't ever ask. You're like, tell me more. You're like, this is the worst date. Never coming back.
She's only talking about herself.
Yeah, but I'm so not. You just really know this
Well, I
much.
told you earlier, I'm having some issues with, I don't want to say bully. I feel like bully is a very strong term. I'll say mean girls at school with one of my kids.
Yeah.
So one of my kids, I've just been noticing, like, she comes home, she's a bit more anxious, not sleeping as well. And so I was just trying to get it out of her, like, what's up? And then it just flowed out of her, you know, like
Yeah.
someone called her a mean name at recess. She sits
kill
alone at
them.
lunch. And one of her really good
Aw.
friends is like being mean to her, like being mean. And it's honestly, it is actually, I think, one of the most.
How do you know that she's being, how do you know? She tells you this or?
She tells me, and then I've seen message exchanges. I've spoken to the teacher.
Right.
And it really, because I dealt with this with another kid of mine when
Mhm.
she was 5. And it is heartbreaking, like,
Yeah.
to see at what age, like, girls are mean.
Yeah.
Like, it is actually crazy. And the truth is, like, there are mean kids everywhere, you know? Like, I think part of parenting is like, okay, you have to build resilience because it's not like,
Right. You can't protect them from
You can't
the world,
protect
and they're
them,
gonna have to
and-
learn how to stand up for themselves.
Exactly. So it's like, give them the tools. Like, I'm always like, and I said this to my other
Yeah.
kid who was dealing with this years ago, like, you have to find friends who make you feel good. Like, that is the bottom line. Like, think about the friends who make you feel good and think about the ones who don't. And like, you need to find the ones, like, it's so basic. And it also applies to adults too. Like, this is not just exclusive to kids. So we have that conversation, but then I'm like, I don't know about you, but I don't like message the teachers a lot. I'm one of those parents. I'm like, I feel like I get 1 or 2 emails a year, you know, to bring up shit. Like, I gotta
Yeah.
use that wisely. You can't be that parent that's like the parent that cries wolf and
No,
literally message about everything.
No, and it was really interesting about, and it really applies to you about how you have to really, obviously teach your kids how to be resilient, but also like, not that I wouldn't stand up for my kids, but really like I find in like certain situations when there's like a school setting and there's authority and a principal,
Yeah.
that's like, I don't want to stir any pots. Like if they've been doing this, like I'm coming in new to this school. Like
Yeah.
I'm not that I wouldn't stand up if I thought they were doing something unjust or something to my son, but just to like really have your kids back and like
Yeah.
where to stand up and where to like let that one die and where like, you know, no, this is a big deal. This is not a big deal.
Exactly.
Like, and in this situation,
this
obviously,
is a
big deal.
really, yeah,
When
this is a
some
big deal.
of the other moms are complaining about certain things and I'm like, well, you know, like,
But anyways, so going back to the bullying thing
Yeah.
or the mean girl thing, this was a big deal. And I messaged the teacher and I'm like, I didn't put any names. And I'm like, I'm noticing this. And what I did with my other daughter, which I think is helpful, I'm like, can you tell me if you like, just keep an eye out for her in the
Right.
lunchroom at recess and maybe like connect me with girls who you think she would have a connection with or who she gravitates to, and then fostering those relationships, you know, and trying kind of like for her to get used to having friends who just are nice to her.
yeah.
Which is crazy. And what the other crazy thing is, like, this is not new. Like, I've spoken to so many friends where their daughters gravitate to the mean girls
Oh yeah.
because they have the power. Were you a
No, I'm just thinking like the dynamic growing up. Like there's something about wanting, if you don't have that power, just wanting to be included in it.
Yeah.
So it
So
doesn't
you're not
matter.
so you're not the target.
Well, yeah, you just negative or not to be involved in that is a desire. I think for most kids,
I
they
think I
want.
just got really close to you. I don't know why. Sorry.
I was gonna say get closer, but I didn't mean that.
Well, because I felt like so far, and then I'm like, I'm very close to you
Yeah.
right now.
Oh,
Anyways,
okay.
sorry, Annie, keep going. But
No,
the power dynamic.
There was always a camp of power dynamic. Who was going to be the cooler girl, and then you wanted to be friends with the cooler girl, and then that cooler girl always picked a best friend.
Well, and these
for
are
her,
moments. These are
yeah.
moments. This is not like
But it
she's
still
not.
impacts her, and it's really, and she thinks about that when she goes to school, and everyone knows of when they're a kid who that
You
person
remember?
is.
We were just talking to
that-
Sarah
yeah,
about this. She
that,
was like,
really
it
upset
was
you or
blank girl for me. It's like there's usually, and I was kind of similar to you. Like I don't remember getting bullied. Like there were definitely uncomfortable situations
Yeah.
where I didn't feel good about myself or I was left out, but I never remember getting bullied. But I was definitely like very awkward growing up. So I feel like I could only go up from there, you know, in confidence.
the bar was low.
The bar was low. I was like a gangly girl with braces and acne. And I feel like I just kind of blossomed.
That's really that. Yeah. Like, also, is it a vibe? I mean, peaking in high school is a vibe. Peaking when, like,
Well, there
these
are those
babies
people
that
who
come
peak.
out though, and everyone's like, my baby is the cutest baby ever. I'm like, I don't want that cute baby.
I think
you know
you
what?
did say that.
What, that my baby's the cutest baby ever?
Yeah.
Well, everyone says that about their own baby. But I just mean like the world, like I was like, the
I'm
reality
unclear
is-
on what you're saying, Annie.
No, what I'm saying is that like, I want to be peaking now.
Yes,
I don't want it.
100%.
High
You don't want to
school would be
peak when
nice,
you're
but, like,
12.
yeah.
I'm so glad I was ugly when I was 15.
Gave you character. No,
It did- no,
also
it
you-
actually did
you
because I
weren't
actually was.
ugly. You were just
I
an
wasn't ugly,
awkward
but I
looking-
was forced to develop my personality. Honestly,
Yeah, you're like, I got work to do. Let's go. Let's go. The face ain't bringing it. This brain gotta. I actually had a very different, like, I think my parents just really were good at buttering me up because, like, I was straight up a dog.
you were
I
not
was
a dog.
not cute. I had big boobs, which saved me when I was younger.
You
I
were
was
not a
cute.
dog.
With
I
my
also
whole nose,
disagree.
I just was not cute. I fully was not cute. I wasn't. So,
But I think
but
with-
I always was so. Maybe that's what it was. Like, confidence just sold it. Like, the guy that I lost my virginity to, he was my first like real boyfriend. He was hot. I'm not saying I always dated hot guys. I've dated a lot of weirdos, like
Yes, you have.
mixed bag. But that one particular, like, how did I land? I don't know how I landed.
He was
that.
gorgeous.
He was gorgeous.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wonder if he's listening to this.
Well, if you
Still
are,
listening to your playlist.
if you are, you just got really excited. And he knows what you do for Gary, so he might be sliding into those DMs.
He actually never had body hair. It was kind of weird.
Oh, so maybe he won't be.
He was an athlete. That's why.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love that.
Love that for
Love
you.
that for you. Love that for your 16-year-old self.
Anywho, what I'm saying is that really sucks about so and so. That really
It's harsh.
that
But you know what
really
is it?
sucks
You
that
find
you're
it
in that position,
and it is different for like you have boys, and I have also had friends who have boys
Yeah.
and have dealt with because
Yeah.
I also hate this that it's like, oh, it's only girls. No, it's not. My friends who have boys, they have had
100%.
things said to them.
100%.
So yeah.
Like this is really like something, and I don't know what was said, but my son's favorite color was pink for so long. It's like the cutest thing.
I remember that. Yeah.
He like came to the store, got the pink
sweatpants.
sweatpants. I'm like, oh my God. No, it was totally, I'm so excited. Whatever. Honestly, other than like, if he lets me dress him as my little fashion boy, wear whatever color you want. But he wore a lot of pink and something just changed. Like one day he just stopped wearing those cute little pink pants that were like, and then he never said anything about it. I'm like, why? His favorite color had just changed. And then I said to him, I'm like, or one day it came up that so-and-so said it wasn't a good color or they hated that color or that color was for girls, which is like, and I was like, that's the silliest thing. So then obviously I incorporated, I don't have a lot of color, but I'm like, I should not be doing this to my children. So then I got him a lot more colorful things. I'm like, that sucks that like, you know,
what someone says
that
can really influence you.
Not that
100%.
that's bullying, but I'm just saying, even those like types of
No, those
questions
little
and
side comments, of course.
affect you. Every little thing affects you as a kid, but they are resilient. And you know what? I'm sure.
Well, I look
when
at
it's-
I look at my older daughter now who had issues, and she has, you know, her great group of friends, and she knows she's got the tools where she's like, I'm not interested in this person because they're not nice, and I'm like, good, and she's like, I like these people because I feel good around them, and it's really amazing. Like it's amazing to see how far she's come, and it's literally just been kind of, you have to stay on top of it. Honestly, as a parent, it's like you really do, because if I hadn't noticed these kids, you can tell it's like something is off. Do you know what I
That's
mean?
so
It's
cool
like
that you know your
they're-
kids so well, though, that you have
do too.
intuition.
But you
No,
do
I'm
too. You
just
would
saying.
notice if sleep they're more like something sets them off more easily. Like it really does affect every facet of your life when something at school or with your friend group is not going well.
Especially when you're a kid and you have like no perspective. You're just like, this is my whole life.
It also affects you as an adult. Like I don't like if I'm feeling unsettled in like a friendship or something is going on. Like it affects everything.
100%.
So do we want to talk about, I know what we were going to talk about.
What?
We want to talk about our book club.
Oh, because we have a new one. We haven't been into it all summer because it's summer and we're back at school and we're in a book club at school.
Well, don't you feel like everyone's reading? I feel like everyone's really into like, I don't know, Colleen Hoover. I hated that book that I read.
Did you?
Yeah, it's very unpopular opinion. Everyone on Instagram was like, this was the best book. I'm like,
that's okay.
Subjective. Yeah.
Not for you.
So we're reading The School for Good Mothers.
Yeah. I just added it to my Audible. I love my audiobooks. I'm so excited to get back into it.
I'm glad you introduced me to that. That is actually a game changer for so many books.
Yeah.
Like Daisy Jones.
It's just for me in general. Like I find I can't read before bed too. I'm out if I'm reading before bed. So it's like I have so many times when I'm able to listen, just don't have my hands accessible.
Oh.
Like I'm driving or like I'm eating.
Shaving
my
Gary's
salad with a
asshole.
cracker. Yeah. Or trimming down my husband, body sculpting Gary's shoulder
You know
region.
what the funniest thing on a side note of just to keep talking about Gary is like people may be like, oh God, Gary like might not like you talking about this. Gary does not care.
Gary's like
he
loves
it
more.
Loves it.
Actually, do you think he won't care about the asshole shaving?
I don't think so.
We'll see.
Yeah.
They'll know better or not.
Yeah. Watch us edit the whole thing out.
Ryan's got a big job.
Anyways, what I was going to say about the book, because I've started reading it, is it's so crazy because it's basically how like this mom does one bad thing with her kid and the place where she lives and the government basically like runs women and oversees what they do and moms. And the story feels very like
too familiar.
Well, it feels like it could never happen, but then you're like, oh shit, the government controlling women, like that is
it's like Handmaid's with
it's
the States.
Margaret Atwood. No, it feels like maybe not so far, which is creepy that we're heading backwards in so many ways.
Well, I don't want
to ruin anything.
I'm very excited to read it or listen to it. So we'll give a recap. I really enjoy that we're doing it. At the beginning, I'm like, a book club, one more thing to do, but I love
it holds you accountable.
No, and I like that. I love reading just only on vacation when you forced to do it versus watching that extra trash show that you probably don't need to watch.
Which I feel like I still do.
I'm like reading and doing the background.
But I feel like it's good too because women in the book club actually talk about the book.
Oh yeah.
Like it's not just like I feel like we used to have book clubs where you just like drank and ate cheese.
Oh yeah, and then we're so dedicated. We did it on Zoom.
Yeah,
we did Zoom book clubs. Like,
and we have got a little famous gal in our book club.
That cutie patootie. Yeah, we love her, Ashley.
Which she's got a book coming out next year, and we'll.
And her first book.
If you guys haven't read it, The Push, it was incredible.
It's one of the most incredible reads. So
it's also like we did that book for book club, and it's about this twisted kid, and Ashley's like, oh, like she's the cutest. Sweetest little thing. You're like, what sociopath wrote this book? And she's like, hi, like I wrote this book. Like
I know.
It's crazy.
Like it almost like didn't add up, but that's the beauty of writing.
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah. Anyways, her second book's coming out soon, and it's a similar idea. I know. I can't wait for it.
And she's so humble.
Yeah.
Like, remember when she came in the book club and everyone was like, there's an author in your book club. I'm like, there is? Who is it? They're like, Ashley. I was like, she never like forces her opinion. Like, no, imagine we were authors. I feel like we'd be like so annoying.
All I know is also if like Ashley ever like comments back on something I say at book club, I'm like, oh my God, I'm right.
Oh, my opinion is right. Actually, she'll be like, Lanny, that was such.
She does it specifically to me, Lanny.
Yes, but I think she does it in general.
Oh, she'll say
be like
Lauren. Also Lauren. A good point, Lauren.
No, but she does. She's like, that's such a great thing you bring up. She's so
she is a wonderful human being.
I
agree.
Person.
Everyone go look at her and love her as much as we do because we are big fangirls. We should have her on here.
Yeah, I said that 5 minutes ago.
Okay, you love when I do that.
Yeah, I love it.
Anyways, this is
like, I've got a great idea.
My friend Dana always says that too.
I don't think I just don't think you listen. Like,
oh God, okay, we can't even get into that. We gotta go. Our next guest is here. I'm kidding.
Our next guest is here. Well, we're excited. We've got like some good podcasts lined up, and in the meantime, if you see Gary, give him a little winky wink, an inside joke. You know, they know what's going on.
Okay,
they know his fur on his stomach is shaped like a heart.
If you know that Gary is a smooth chota region. There you go.
Bye.